Hey, what's going on, guys? This is my DVD review of ROH's Southern Cal Showdown, and this is a return out to the West Coast for ROH. Now they've been to the West Coast before. They back in 2007 they did Survival of the Fittest in Las Vegas, and then they did Chaos at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. There was some kind of altercation during that weekend, and I believe the attendance was pretty low, and those were pretty much two of the worst shows in 2007. So that was not really considered a successful trip out to the West Coast, which kind of explains why it took them so long to come back out there. But they finally came back out. This is part of the Wrestle Reunion weekend. Jushin Thunder Liger and Rob Van Dam, the Great Muta, a bunch of attractions were out there in this weekend. But this is the ROH show from that weekend, and this is pretty good. I say it was really easy to sit through. It was I wouldn't say it was great, but it was just a really, really good show. It actually felt like a PWG show, which is not really a bad thing, because PWG has been really, really good over the last couple years, in my opinion. So, okay, now before I get down to the matches, let me talk about the commentary. They brought in someone new. I forget what his name is, but he's from a local indie promotion, I think. He's a lot better than Santa Maria. Well, the thing about him is he's more of a broadcaster. He's got that broadcaster's voice, that voice for television, which is something Santa Maria just didn't have. Santa Maria, maybe his facts were good, but there's times where you felt like you might want to go to sleep because Santa Maria just had that kind of voice. But the first match, we had Colt Cabana and El Generico versus Scott Lost and Scorpio Sky. Now, if you guys don't know Scott Lost and Scorpio Sky, I think this is the first time in ROH. They're pretty much PWG homegrown talent. So they teamed up to face El Generico and Cabana. El Generico is actually another guy that's pretty synonymous with PWG as well. But you can't really call this ROH versus PWG, but I guess that's what they were trying to go for here. And this is a really good opener. I thought it was great. El Generico looked really good. Cabana was very funny. It was just a fun, solid opener. The crowd was into it, and I really got a good feeling from this match. And Scott Lost didn't get to show what he normally does on the some of the PWG shows, so that was my only complaint with it. But it was still pretty good action. Next up, we had the worst match of the night: Erick Stevens versus Necro Butcher. Anything goes match. As you guys would expect. The same old stuff. Just nothing special. I don't know. The Necro, like I've been saying for so long, I really don't see why they keep Necro around anymore. Well, he's just not my cup of tea, but some guys do like him. He is pretty over in some areas. Sometimes he's not, but this just didn't go that well to me. Next up, we had Roderick Strong versus Delirious. Another match from these two guys. We've seen them have a match at Boiling Point in Edison, New Jersey, which I thought was really, really good, pretty underrated. And they feuded in 2007. Here they had another good match. I think all their matches are pretty good. I think they have a lot of good chemistry. Like I've said many times, I think Delirious has improved tremendously. And this is solid, very solid, 3.5 stars without a doubt. So next up, we had Tyler Black versus Joey Ryan. Surprisingly, well, yeah, I mean, this was I'm going to say this is probably the best showing that Joey Ryan has had in ROH so far. The thing that helped him out here, obviously, he's a PWG homegrown talent, probably the biggest name that PWG has produced, and or one of the biggest names. And he really had a lot of crowd support here. I say the crowd was pretty much like 70-30 on Joey Ryan's side. Really, really good stuff. Joey Ryan looked great. I actually thought this might be a squash match. Maybe if it was an HDNet match, we probably would have seen Tyler Black actually squash Joey Ryan. But here, Joey Ryan got some great offense in. He hit a super kick for a nice near fall. I thought the ending was awesome too. Joey Ryan was going for the mustache ride off on the top rope. And then Tyler Black just countered it into the God's last gift. So that was a really, really cool spot. Pretty good match, 3.5 stars without a doubt. Like I said, probably Joey Ryan's best showing in ROH so far. So next up, I think we had Geralyn versus Kenny King. This is kind of disappointing. This was pretty much just done to set up their next match. I think it's taking place in Phoenix or at the Big Bang. I'm not sure. But yeah, just pretty much just done to set that up. Kenny King got on the mic. Crowd was telling him to shut the fuck up. I think King has gotten really over on the mic. He's got a great identity, but as far as his singles matches goes, he really hasn't had that one singles match that has really stood out to me so far. But him and Geralyn got a great ovation. Geralyn was really, really over. so give him credit. But the ending, you could actually see the ending coming a mile away. Once you see the ending, you know what I'm talking about. So probably like 2.5 for this match. And like I said, it was just pretty much done to set up their other match. Geralyn kind of got his revenge on Kenny King here. So that's pretty much what it was about. Next up, we had Human Tornado versus Kevin Steen. Obviously, Human Tornado wanted to help avenge the situation with Kevin Steen and El Generico, because El Generico was taken out at Final Battle by Kevin Steen. So, yeah, you know, Tornado's really hasn't made a lot of appearances for ROH. I don't know, this is okay. You know, it kind of ended before it really got going. You know, Kevin Steen was kind of playing the bully, and he got on the mic talking trash to the crowd. Your typical Kevin Steen heel tactics in this match, and I thought it was okay, but not great. So that's pretty much my thoughts on that. Next up, I think we had next up we had Austin Aries. This is a non-title match. Austin Aries versus Jushin Thunder Liger. Jushin Thunder Liger has made appearances for ROH in the past. He had a singles match against Bryan Danielson, then he had a great tag match with Low Key and Samoa Joe and those guys. So, yeah, I mean, it was great to see him back. I think he could still go. You know, I'm not sure how old he is or whatever, but you know, him and Aries had a pretty good confrontation at first. Aries was very, very disrespectful, making fun of his heritage, making fun of the mask and everything like that. And then he called Aries an asshole. So yeah, the pre-match stuff was awesome. And then surprisingly, Austin Aries gave a great effort here. I thought Aries did his best to make this match work. Liger did look great though. He pulled out his usual stuff, but I think it was Aries' performances really put this match over the top for me. It was really, really good. You know, Aries threw everything at Jushin Thunder Liger, but he just couldn't put him away. He did the heat-seeking missile, missed Jushin Thunder Liger, and went right into the steel guardrail, just like at the 8th anniversary show. Pretty much the same spot. And tried to put him away with the brainbuster, couldn't get it done. Tried to make him tap out with the last chancery, couldn't get it done. Missed him with the 450 splash. So Aries had to kind of resort to cheating, but really, really good match though. Excellent match, 4 stars without a doubt. One of the best Austin Aries performances I've seen in a long time. So, you know, watching this match, you kind of get the feeling that Aries was kind of bothered by some of the criticism from Final Battle. So, I know he definitely made up for it, because this is a pretty awesome match. Next up, you know, this is the match of the night, in my opinion. Obviously, with all the talent involved, you had to expect something special. You know, you had the Briscoes and the Young Bucks teaming up to face the Kings of Wrestling and the American Wolves. Really, really good stuff. Mr. Narrator has said, you know, that the Briscoes were probably the least over tag team out of all these teams, and they were. They really didn't pop for them at all. They like one guy started a man up chant, but you know, no one else followed. Kings of Wrestling by far were the most over tag team and the most impressive. I thought Claudio and Hero pulled out some nice combination spots, and Claudio Casanova looked really, really good out there. He was probably the most impressive. Eddie Edwards looked pretty good. You know, Davey was trying his best to try to get Eddie Edwards over. So Davey didn't really do much. You know, I think they tried to use this match to try to get Eddie some more exposure, and he definitely went over here in a big way. I'll say that. Young Bucks, you know, you got your typical Young Bucks stuff. You know, the crowd was chanting "fuck TNA" at some point, so that was pretty interesting. Jay Briscoe looked really good. I thought Briscoes looked okay, not amazing, but really, really good match. You know, it got time out there. They got about 30 minutes, so this is a very positive show. I wouldn't say it's a great show. It doesn't have that one match where it's like blew everyone away, but the main event is really fun. The Aries Jushin Thunder Liger match is really, really cool to see. And there's some pretty good undercard matches as well. You know, Roger Strong and Delirious was good. You know, I thought Joey Ryan and Tyler Black had a great match as well. Not great, but pretty good. So here you go, Southern Cal Showdown. Definitely check it out. All right.